Hello, my fellow Chibits. Today is that time. Time to bring you a full series review of Durarara. Now, a bunch of you Chibits have been asking where I am at in Durarara, and finally, I have finished this series. I finally got around to finishing it, I marathoned it, and I got to actually see the brilliance of this series. So, I'm just gonna say real quick, before I begin this review and dive in and talk about everything, I just want to, tell you a couple Chibits that probably recommended this series to me. The Chibits that recommended me to actually watch Durarara, I want to actually say thank you. This was a very, very fun ride. A really good experience. I had a really good experience watching this series. It was slow at first, but then it gradually built up into something very, very good. Oh, dude. Which I will get into. But this series has been very fun, and I definitely recommend it. Right off the bat, if you love, I guess, circumstances with, like, a town, like, individual people going through a town and seeing their daily life and add in some supernatural elements, you'll definitely love this series. It's just, Durarara is just, oh, dude, it's good. So, let's dive in. So, Durarara. I expected a title drop for that name. I want to be honest. For that weird name, Durarara, I expected some form of title drop or reference to that name in the course of this series. So, it kind of made me question and wonder, why is the series called Durarara when it never had a reference to the name for the course of the entire series? So, it was really strange. I mean, it's a really strange name, and it's a really interesting series, but to see how there was no reference to the name, it really took me by surprise when I did finish this series. One thing is, though, that name, I really like the fucking name. It just slides off the tongue. Durarara. It just does. Or you can call it Dirt. You can call it like that. That's what you can also call Durarara. But don't take that as offense. I love this series. The main point of this series is based on, like, the events around these people in this city. This city, pretty much, it has a bunch of people in it. And all these characters we see through the course of this series can kind of be considered main characters. They're not really support characters. I mean, I guess you can peg the three main characters, the main female character and the two main male characters, as the mains. But in reality, there's not really a main character to Durarara. There isn't. Because every single character through this series, besides Simon, pretty much almost every single character got a little bit of backstory to where they got developed and they had some form of spotlight through the series. So, I guess you can kind of say that the entirety of the town is kind of like a main character. And you just see how they go through the events of their daily lives and what they have to deal with color gangs, to just dealing with personal issues, romance, previous mistakes from the past, and just so many other different things going on. Now, at first glance, Durarara doesn't seem to be anything too special. I want to be honest. It doesn't look like it's anything too special when you first start the series, but when you actually sit down and actually just relax, get a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and just watch the series and look at the beauty of it, it really starts to drag you in. What really made me come back to watching Durarara the most was the art style. The art style, oh, dude, it's my type of art style. Like, the art style really, really works with this series. The way the characters are, the way they look, the character designs and everything, the art style just jumps at you. I mean, for it to be a 2010 anime, if I'm correct, made by Brainspace, it looks really damn good. It holds up to this day and age, and it's actually even better than some anime that currently come out this year from 2014, and that is pretty freaking surprising. So the budget in Durarara was pretty damn nice. I mean, there was only a couple episodes I watched when I was marathoning the series that seemed to have slight, not that good of animation, like they had a lot of still frames, but that was only a couple out of the entirety of 25 episodes I watched, besides the special episode that was like, 12.5 or 14.5, it's one of those. Pretty much, besides the special, which I just completely skipped over because I was kind of thinking it was a recap, the budget of the series was pretty high. It really was. The budget was really nice, and I really had no complaints when it came to the actual animation or art style. Now, diving into that, talking about, the animation art, I want to talk about the music. The music is one thing about this series, too, that really stands up. It really gives this series an entirely different dimension and level when it comes to the entertainment value. The music of the series, it's very classy. The music is just so damn classy. Like the opening song, the first opening song, I'm not gonna lie, that opening song, it would be in the top 5 best opening songs of this year if Durarara aired this year. If it definitely aired this year, that would have been the best, like one of the best songs of this year. because that song, that first opening song of Durarara, that was just, oh, dude, like, oh. You know what I like about the opening songs, too, that Durarara used, that I've never seen an anime ever use? They actually put a previously, like, you know, like, let's say previously on Dragon Ball Z, you know, they have that entire thing right before the episode, and then you go into the opening song, and then you go into the series. Well, pretty much Durarara, it did something very unique with its opening, and honestly, I wish more anime did something like that, because it really gave more life to the opening song, and I think that's why I really love the opening songs to Durarara so much. They had a previously slap dab in the middle of the opening song. Now, it wasn't like where it was very irritating and it just killed the flow of the song. They put enough flashback, like previously, along with the song playing in the background, to actually allow you to enjoy the previously. I don't know, like, I could not skip the opening song, even when it had the previously, like, on the last episode, Durarara, even though I just watched it at that time. I loved the opening song, the way it used those previously scenes in the opening song. It's so different from anything I've ever seen. I have never seen an anime series do something like that. And I mean, actually, like, kind of cut away from the song to have a previously, but still have the song kind of playing in the background. Very unique. Just straight up very unique. And that is one thing I will award Durarara for, being very unique with its opening song and its choices of way they used the previously. So moving past that, I guess I should start talking about the individual characters. There is two characters that just stand out. Actually, no, there's three characters that really stand out for this series. One of the main ones is probably the iconic character that probably almost everyone knows about, is the Black Rider, pretty much. The Headless Rider, Celty. Celty, just straight up, best girl. Best fucking girl. I mean, I like Saika. Don't get me wrong. Saika is amazing, but Celty, I love her. Oh my god. I like that final scene on episode 24, that final scene with her and, you know, her lover, technically, you know, the doctor or whatever, scientist, pretty much when she changed clothes, okay? And he's like, what are you doing, Celty? Like, why are you getting like that? You're trying to seduce me. And then she doesn't say enough and doesn't punch him enough, and it's the final scenes of the season, pretty much. And she's like, oh, I am trying to seduce you. And I'm like, oh, dude. Just like, that shit was nice. So just seeing the progression with the romance of Celty and, you know, her scientist lover, that's actually one thing I do want to mention. The scientist dude, the boy or whatever that actually heals people that, you know, let's say they get shot, they're part of a gang war or something, they get shot. He's like a doctor that works in the underground. Well, the sad thing is, he really did not have a massive role to play. I mean, he did, but didn't. Like, the first half of Durarara, he had a role. But it wasn't so massive, and it kind of upsets me a little bit, because there was a couple characters I felt that should have had more screen time than others. For instance, the scientist. He needed a lot more screen time, along with his father. His father was really, really freaking unique. Like, the mask, dude, like, what the fuck? Just, like, it was really cool, but, I mean, some of these characters needed a lot more screen time, which they never got, which kind of upsets me inside. Now, the other two characters that stand out, which is probably obvious, if you've watched the series already, most likely you know the two characters I'm about to mention, but I want to say them anyways. Izaya and Shizuo. Oh my god, those two characters. One thing that can sum up Shizuo's character: Attack of the Vending Machines, or Attack of the freaking Street Poles. That is pretty much Shizuo summed up. That's summing him up. This dude, I have never been so scared of vending machines. Or, dude, like, that dude is OP. He is literally God of this series. Like, dude, straight up, that dude, he scares the fuck out of me. Like, he slung freaking poles, like street poles, like, you know, street poles that have like, oh, take your exit on the next right and stuff like that. Like these big ass fucking steel titanium poles. He would rip them out of the ground. And no, this isn't just like a crazy wacky series that just, you know, breaks the fourth wall. It doesn't break the fourth wall, but the series just, Shizuo, man, he's fucking, oh my god. He, weirdly, his attitude and his personality is just, it really makes this series. And the contrast of Izaya's character with Shizuo's character, it definitely makes the series a lot better. And once again, this adds another compliment and another good award-winning point for me as a watcher because of these two characters. These two characters, Shizuo and Izaya, just the way they complement each other. I mean, they're both technically rivals in the series, but the way they complement each other and the way they rival each other, it makes the series just so much more enjoyable. Like, Shizuo, when he got into the picture, you expected some bloodshed. You expected someone's ass to get wrecked. That's pretty much what you expected when you saw him enter the scene, when you saw fighting going on. Like, you give this dude a look, like, you give Shizuo a look like an evil eye or something, he is going to rip your fucking head off. Like, I'm not joking. He will fucking do that. And I'm like, oh. So, that's one thing. And then we go over to Izaya. Izaya is the rival to Shizuo in this series. And honestly, you can consider Izaya actually the main antagonist of Durarara, Season 1. And I'm willing to bet he most likely will be the main antagonist of Season 2 when it does come out, because there is one thing that separates Izaya from Shizuo. Shizuo is more about the bronze. He's very strong and powerful, while Izaya, he's not really that physically strong. I mean, he pulled off some pretty crazy moves. Like, he was dodging Shizuo. He was jumping through the fucking, like, sides of the poles with the skyscrapers. I was like, oh my god. He's crazy. He definitely is strong and, like, agile, but he's not, you know, like, in strength-wise like Shizuo. So if he was trying to fight him fist-to-fist, he would just get wrecked so hard. And so, the main weapon that Izaya has as a character, or a villain, is his mind. He uses his mind. And the one thing that really stood out with this series was Izaya. Izaya, his motives through the course of the entire series, I was really trying to figure out what was his real angle. What was his angle? Why was he doing this? What was his real motive? I was trying to figure this out the entire time for the course of the series. And then I got my answer on the end of episode 24. Izaya just loves humans, and he has a twisted sense of love when it comes to humans. His love for humans is kind of sickening. Like, the love he has, he loves humans' emotions. Like, let's say the faces on different people, their emotions they feel. Like, let's say if someone was dying in front of them, okay? He loves looking at the anguish or the different emotions that show on the human face. And so that is what he really loves about humans. He loves getting to see their reactions to whatever really goes on in their life. So he's kind of like the Joker of Durarara. Some people just like to watch the world fucking burn because he causes problems just to see the reactions. That's pretty much Joker. That's just straight up freaking Joker. Izaya is literally just Joker. He starts shit because he like I said, he just wants to see reactions and emotions of people that when he causes chaos. Now, from my perspective, though, of the course of the series, from what I understood, Izaya wasn't a character that would actually go out of his way to really kill someone. He wouldn't go out of his way to actually kill someone, but he kind of would be, I guess, a third party. It would help the progression of someone's death or something. Like, in the beginning of the series, he was actually going to let this girl jump off the freaking skyscraper and commit suicide. He was fine with this. He was kind of egging her on to just, you know, die. But he didn't specifically push her. So, the thing was, Izaya as a character, he will not actually kill someone, but he will push him to the point where they kind of want to. Or he will start things to where he's not really at fault for people killing each other. So, Izaya as a character, just, he's, whoa, man. I like him as a character. He is really cool. I love his style, his classy jacket. Oh my god, that classy. But, he's an asshole. He's straight up an asshole. Like, dude, like, that guy is as big as asshole as you can possibly get. I mean, the entire events of Durarara was because of him. He literally caused all the problems, pretty much majority of the problems, because of what he was doing in the background. Starting problems, spreading rumors, stuff like that. And so, the course of the series, to see how he slowly manipulated our three characters into, you know, the yellow scarves and, you know, the dollars fighting each other, that was just a really entertaining entire aspect of the series when I was sitting here watching this. Because seeing these two, like, friends, like, you have Akita and then you have it to where our main, you know, male character of the leader of the dollars, they're just pretty much, they both are unaware that one is the leader of the yellow scarves, one's the leader of the dollars, and then you have the dude in the middle that is, you know, Izaya. He's like the informant, he's the underground broker, and he fucks with everybody's lives. They don't realize that he's just manipulating these two and causing events where they can have a dispute and fights, like both gangs will end up fighting each other. So, that's pretty shocking. Now, the overall objective that Durarara Season 1 set up technically was not accomplished. For instance, the objective that Season 1 set up was for Celty to get back her head. That was one of the main objectives that was actually introduced earlier on in this series that really became very apparent in the first half of the series, right before the second half opening change happened. And at the end of the series, episode 24 and 25, Celty has yet to get her head. And the thing is, the main crazy part about this is, the person that actually has Celty's head is Izaya. So, next season, most likely if I had to place my bets, it's going to be focusing around maybe Celty trying to get her head back. Because that is the one main thing that the season is yet to conclude. Because if it would have concluded that, honestly, season 1 could have ended. Like, I mean, it would have been a very good-ass ending to season 1. I mean, if the Celty head thing would have gotten, finished in season 1, it would have been a very damn good ending, because, I mean, the overall aspect of the friends and what the town means to, the friends and the dollars and the yellow scarf, stuff like that, getting to see how they move past their past and they walk forward and stuff like that, I felt like it actually would have been a very good ending. Even season 1 as it is now is a very good ending, and I'm satisfied. Even if there was a season 2 never to come out, I'm actually satisfied. Even though I'd want to see Celty get her head back or try to get interest to getting it back, it was still a very satisfying ending. So overall, Durarara Season 1. A really fun ride. I had a lot of fun. And if I had to really rate this at a serious point, I'd say it's worthy of maybe an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. I mean, it's good. It's a very, very good series, but it does have its slow moments. It's very, very slow moments that could probably get people a little bit turned off from the series, and that's the only reason why I can't, give it like a 9 or something. But besides that, it's fun. Like I said, if you enjoy the events wrapped around a town and see how people progress through their lives and supernatural type elements along with it, I guess I could recommend this series. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How'd you feel about this, full series review of Durarara? Expect some interesting things in the near future. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.